Welcome to Soul Matrix Show, unleashing the power of your infinite soul with Sheri Collins. Sheri can help you remember who you once were. Tune in to see the bigger picture, release your past traumas, and step forward into your true self and living a life that you love. This show will help you with all of this by being of service to you, sharing messages of hope, faith, and understanding. We all have inner wisdom within us, and Sheri can help you find it. You can be the creative change that you want in your life, and Sheri wants to show you how to do that. Let's navigate on your soul's journey. Soul Matrix Show starts now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheri Collins, and welcome to the Soul Matrix Show on Transformation Talk Radio. I am so grateful that you guys are here with me tonight. Today, we're going to have a little bit of a chat around Akashic Records. This is something that's very dear to my heart, something that I learned early on in my soul's journey, moving forward into who I am today. So I want to start off by just kind of introducing everybody to what the Akashic Records is. So your Akashic Records is every word you have ever said across every lifetime. It's every experience that you're reliving now is in your Akashic Records. And it spans every life you've ever been to Earth, now and moving forward in time. The Akashic Records can open up so many avenues to the life that you don't even understand that you're living in this moment. The Akashic Records hold so many moments in time and so many lessons that we've learned. A lot of people don't understand how it can reappear in our lives, but that's the joy of it. We navigate this life based off a contract that we agreed to before we came here, and being able to understand that in that contract is everything that you didn't heal from before. So whether you believe in reincarnation or not, there's more and more proof coming out with younger children right now, people who are remembering past lives in certain situations, which they've never lived in this moment. People can't verify that in their own families that actually transpired. So those are your past lives. A lot of people will understand Akashic Records from your dreams. Have you ever had a dream where that dream feels like it's so vivid and so real? That is part of your Akashic Records. You're dreaming your dreams from past lives in this moment when you sleep. And what's happening right now on this earth is that we are going through so many different shifts in ascension, shifts in consciousness, and shifts in spirituality. And during those shifts, we actually collapse a lot of our past lives when we're sleeping. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night in cold sweats or warm sweats, where it's like, oh my gosh, did I just experience that? What was that? Most likely those are part of your past lives collapsing themselves into healing. So what I want to do is I want to take you through a little bit of a journey of just kind of understanding what it actually is, where it is, and that, you can access all of it. It's yours to do what you choose with. So the first thing I want to talk about is what exactly the Akashic is. So it's like a library. You can view it as a library. You can view it as a movie. That is your preference of what you want to do. For me, to sit here and read a book, it just takes too long. So for me, I love seeing it as images. What is it? It's basically everything about you. Things that you didn't know about yourself. Why do you like certain foods? Why do you do certain things? Why do you have habits that are either good or bad? These are all things that are actually in your Akashic Records. And it can tell you so much about yourself just by being able to go in there. So what I want to explain to you is that everything that you are is from there. So I'm going to use myself as a reference for some of this. And later on, we'll go into stories of other people that I've helped. So for myself, I learned very, very quickly. I love to be the leader. And I have this personality that says, come on, I'll invite you in and I'll show you what I can do. And then you can do it after. So for me, I always wanted to know why I need to be the leader. Like, it is a need inside of me. I'm not very good at standing back and just, okay, I'll just do what you tell me to. That is not my personality. It never has been. So when I stepped into this journey and started to understand my Akashic, that was the first place I went for answers. I wanted to know who I truly was and why these things were showing up. So the first place I went to was my past life. I wanted to know why these things were coming up. So in my past life, I was Cleopatra III. And so for me, that totally showed me where I needed to become this leader, not necessarily the reigning part, but you call it what it is for yourself. But it's being the leader and being able to be an example, be able to show people what they can do, or encourage them to be the best version of themselves in this now moment, because we're always that version. But understanding how that transpired from there to here is just so magnificent. And once I got those answers, it was easier to let it go. Like, I didn't need to have that, put in my face all the time. Why am I doing this? Why do I have to be this way? So for me, it was very, very helpful. The other question that I get a lot is, can anybody do this? And the answer is yes. You've done it your whole life. You've done it in past lives and didn't even know. So yes, you can. We don't have to hold on to the energy that's in there. We can truly allow ourselves to heal from what is being shown. But everybody can do it. Everybody has access to it. I will say the one thing that does transpire when people tend to go in when they want to learn this stuff is they'll get hung up on how you passed over. So if you have a horrific accident, or if there's a lot of blood, people all of a sudden will start to shut down and be like, no, I don't know if I want to go see that. So for a lot of people that I teach, they get a little bit scared, right? And it's okay. It's understanding that you've already passed on from that moment in time. And that's why you're here now, right? So it allows us to see into so many aspects of ourselves. I'm sure many of you have experienced allergies or relationships gone awry, where you think you have this beautiful thing and all of a sudden it just crashes around you. All of these things are in your Akashic. Anything that you didn't finish or heal from a past life is what you're living now. And the more of those lessons that we heal from the past, the less we have to come back with, right? The Akashic is in the 8th dimensional plane. So people right now will talk about, the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension and all the dimensions in between. Honestly, as an interdimensional being, which you are and I am, we can travel into any dimension. There's no rules and boundaries that says you can't do this, right? So the 8th dimensional plane is about 18 inches above your head, right about here. So all we have to do to go in is just look in that direction, close our eyes, take a deep breath, and just relax and go in. A lot of people get hung up what to do in there. So there's so much you can do. If you want to go read a book, you can. If you want to learn to understand who you are, you can. You can look at it as a learning experience as to what your soul truly needs to heal from as well. So people who feel like they're in lack of money, people who feel like they have a lack of mindset moving forward, they're not positive, they're negative, they always find the wrong partner to be with, right? Narcissistic or, other abusive situations that show up in your life. All of these things are transpiring from something that's not healed. Now, when we go through something horrific like that, we have to understand that there's 2 sides to that. There's your side that's unhealed, and there's their side that's unhealed. It's not easy to understand, but it's easy to heal. And every single component of the Akashic can be healed. There is nothing that says it can't be. And a lot of people will ask these questions of, can I do it myself, or can somebody else do it for me? And the answer to both of those is yes. You have a huge guidance system that comes in with you to be able to show you and navigate. Anything that feels unfamiliar or unsafe, you can always ask for help, right? But it's wanting to take the step by step to understand who you truly are inside of there. And for me, it was one of the biggest experiences of my life, being able to navigate this with my guidance team. Now, for me, I go in with a special team. And as you move through your journey, you may acquire your own team. Akashic has its own because there's so many dimensional layers to it. So as you first navigate through it, I always ask for my team to show up so that my team can help guide me. There's certain things that will happen in the Akashic Records that you will feel unfamiliar to. It will look different than you expected. And this is where your team comes in to help you. You are never alone. And that's one thing to remember as you navigate this, is understanding that these are just components of yourself that need healing just as much as you do in this moment. As we understand most of the dimensional parts of ourself, we understand what it's like to be in a relationship with money, right? We understand what it's like to be in a relationship with people we love or don't love. We understand the job and the components of all these things that need to show up for our own spiritual growth. Those are all things you can go in and look at. Now, I want to address this because this comes up a lot. And a lot of people, as they're going through this moment in time that we're in with ascension and change and all of these things, they always ask about their gifts. So clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. And people always go, can I work on that in there? Can I gain that understanding to open this all up for myself in there? And the answer is yes. Because believe it or not only in this time are you blocking it, but in your past lives, you're blocking it too. Right? There's certain situations and circumstances that have transformed in your life between then and here that stops us from wanting to access some of that stuff. Right? Some people will come to me and say, I don't see that. I can't see that. Well, maybe it's just a component in there that you're blocking from actually wanting to bring that back in line for yourself. So there is components that you get to choose. Do I really want to change this, or am I okay leaving it the same? The other thing about the Akashic that's really, really cool is everything from this moment backwards is your past. Every second that moves by is your past. So that's already written in there. Every time you speak it into existence, it's in there. And understanding that you can go in and change that and heal that allows you to have the freedom to choose. So what I want to do with you guys is I want to take you in this journey just a little bit further and a little bit deeper. So what I want to do when you guys come back, we're going to go through a few more things, and then I'm going to guide you into a little bit of an exercise because I want you guys to experience some of this too. But you have to stay tuned to come back with me to be able to do this journey with me. So stay tuned, come back, be ready to hear more about your Akashic Records and how you can access them. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Thank you for watching. Hello, and welcome back. I'm Sheri Collins. Welcome to the Soul Matrix. I am so grateful to have you guys back with me. So let's dive in a little bit further into this whole journey around the Akashic Records and what it does. So what I want to walk through first is, why would you choose something like this? Why would anybody want to choose learning how to read or heal or transform their Akashic? The biggest thing that I can tell you is to remove the karmic energy. Every lifetime that you've ever lived, there's a karmic energy that kind of sits around us as we navigate this. So if you've ever stolen anything, if you've, ever hurt somebody's feelings, that's all in there. That's all karmic energy that can come back. And it's a repeating pattern that we hold in our lifetime and now. We have things that are unhealed, so they'll keep resurfacing, how we date the same people over and over again. These are all things that we have to heal, because who wants to come back and do it again? We don't. We really want to be free and clear. The other thing is that we hold on to so much generational stuff from our ancestors that we don't even realize we're carrying. And the nice thing about this is when you choose to step in and do this work, especially with me, we go in and we do the healing work on your ancestral line, because it takes one person to, let's just say, be shot in a war for you to carry that same bullet wound. And you don't even realize that you're holding it. And that will affect you, right? You have an aunt who maybe has a big secret, who doesn't want anyone to know that she gave birth to a child that's, in another family. Those are all things that are in your Akashic. Those are all things that you can look at. And those are all things that you can help heal for your own self and your ancestral line. Now, another question that I get is around people who are adopted. So if you understand how adoption works in the way that the person who lets you go into the family that you're meant to be in, that is still your family. So now you just have 4 sets of generational lines that you can look at. To a certain point, some of that will stop being present and relevant because it no longer exists in your reality that you need to be there. But as you navigate that, that's 4 sets of people that you get to look at and heal, right? Those are so many benefits to doing this work for yourself. How I got started was I actually had an allergy from when I was 6 years old. And what it's called is hypoallergenic skin. So for anybody who does have this or doesn't, what it is you cannot use any products. So let's just say you had one shampoo, you can't change that shampoo. One bar of soap, you cannot change that bar of soap to something different. Hugging people, not really a good idea. Using other people's towels, not a good idea. Creams tend to amplify it and make it worse. So that was something that I had from the time I was 6 years old. And both of my children were blessed to have it in that moment when they were born. My daughter's was actually more severe because she ended up with food allergies on top of it. And the moment I healed my contributing factor in my Akashic records, it stopped. And both of my children's skin allergies and food allergies completely stopped. Now, what are these things from? Emotions and situations and circumstances that we're holding is what creates it. It's no different than anything you're holding now. It's created from a situation or a circumstance, and you held the emotional attachment to how it made you feel. So as you navigate through this, you'll understand where it starts to play a big, big role in your life where this stuff keeps showing up. You might even notice that there's certain things on your body. For those of you who have it, you'll have marks. Maybe you've got a hole here or a dent here. Maybe you'll have a line from sternum to crotch. These are all things that are showing up from your Akashic records. Not that it's the full and complete story. There is a component of it that's showing up in this lifetime for you, but it's coming from there as well, right? So everything that shows up is meant to be in this moment for you. Everything. Can you bypass it? No. But we can heal them so they stop happening. So I'm going to give you an example of that. If you live paycheck to paycheck, part of this is dealing with something from your past that doesn't allow you to save money or have extra. So we can look at those things, transform it and heal it, and then bring it here. And all of a sudden that will change and shift in your reality to bring something new in. Where you feel like you need to be on assistance. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That is designed to help us, right? When we go on those things, sometimes we feel, oh, I feel guilty that I'm on this and I can't get off. And if I go off, how do I make a name for myself? And how do I do this? All of that stuff is in your Akashic. Every single component of everything you're living is in there. It's just something that's unhealed. Now, you can use this in both directions. There's things that we have done in past lives to other people. We can heal that as well. It's letting go of both sides of that, right? The sword cuts both sides. The one side is not dull on that sword or on that knife. It always has two components, where we feel we need to forgive and where we need to forgive ourselves. So for me, that's where I started. A lot of forgiveness work and a lot of healing work around relationships and other things. For me, part of my journey was around how I looked. I never truly fit in my life, as I said in the last one. But for me, when I went to date, I was told that I wasn't pretty, and I believed that person. And then I had to stop myself. And then I had to go back and figure out where that came from, where I didn't feel beautiful, where I didn't feel I needed to, rise and shine to my own self. And once I healed those components, it got easier. Did it take care of everything? No, there's still a little bit of insecurities that show up, but that's because of who I want to be, not who I am now, right? So I'm moving in the directional that takes me forward in my journey, and I need to address these things as I go because they're showing up in now moments. And as soon as that shows up for me, that's the first place I go. I go into my Akashic to heal it because I want it to be done. I don't want to have to keep reliving these patterns over and over. It gets annoying after a while, and the universe knows that. They're like, have you learned it? No. Have you learned it? Okay, I'm done. Right? We have to get to that done point. And for me, the Akashic is the easiest way. What I've learned about the Akashic is that there's so many opportunities to do interplanetary work as well. So our Akashic records hold so much information around different events in time. And I'm going to share a few stories with you because I think it's really important to understand certain things that show up. First of all, when we go into the Akashic, it's letting go of, the mental mind, because we don't want to bring in anything that we think, right? We want to just let them show us. And as we go in and navigate for the collective, I'm going to bring us into 9/11 because for me, that's huge. Understanding that we cannot change a collective event. It's there for a reason. whether it affects one person or multiple people. But here's the great thing about it. If you come in contact with someone who is at that event, we can heal it and transform it for them. But on the other side of that, when it comes to planetary work, it is so amazing to be able to go to the planet itself, whether that's interdimensionally up there or on the planet itself. We can start doing planetary work to start healing those components, right? We have our own footprint on this planet, but so does everything else. So if we can lend a little bit of something to whether it's the monuments or Giza or, Mount Shasta, wherever it is, if we can start lending energy and healing towards those ley lines, the planet will absorb that energy and bring that goodness back to whole, right? The oneness is huge. So I feel like for this journey forward, it is all about how you can be of service, not only to yourself, but how you can be of service to everything else. And that's how I live my life. How can I serve? How can I be of service? So I think for me, understanding how I can heal it and transform it is huge. It allows us to see interdimensionally in so many aspects. So that brings me into my next one. So why can we heal it? Why not? Too many people come up with conditions and rules that say we can't do this and we can't do that. I personally just listen, and I'm guided by my guides to show people the way. And if that means let's go in and heal this, then we do it. If we go in and transform it, we do it. The idea behind that healing and the transformation is allowing that karmic energy from the past to be healed and allowing that energy to move and shift down through us as we navigate our life. So I'm going to share a few stories, and this is going to help put it into a little bit of perspective. So I had a young lady step forward at a workshop that I was doing, and every time she would shower, she smelled burnt skin. And I'm sure you can imagine what that smells like. It smells pretty rancid. So to have to shower with that every morning has got to be very uncomfortable, but it showed up in right the moment for her. Right. So when I went in and navigated her Akashic Records, I saw that she was in an apartment fire as a young girl, and it had burned 3/4 of her body. You could see the difference in the body system, and the shower was just activating those active memories from then. So I went in, I did a healing and a transformation, and 2 weeks later, she messaged me and she said, "I no longer smell burnt skin." And she said, "Thank you so much." Right? So it allows us to understand the healing that takes place, but also reap the rewards in this now moment. Right? We've talked about my allergies. I want to share this beautiful story with you. And this lady just, oh, she's just an angel, if you ask me. So she came to me and she was feeling some pressure up in her head. And I said, well, let's go navigate it. She had, the thing that happens. And so let's go navigate this for you. So we went into her Akashic and we started understanding that her husband, who ended up passing away from pancreatic cancer, was in her past life. And he was a peasant. And her family didn't want her to be with this man. And she said, in this life, my family didn't want me to be with him either. And I said, okay, well, let's heal that. So we healed all of that. And then all of a sudden I came into this now moment in her life. And I said, did you say to the universe or to your husband that you wanted to travel and that you had this trip planned and that, when was it your moment to be able to do those things? And she went, oh my gosh, yes. Lo and behold, did she know that she was setting herself up to receive the same things that her husband had. So she received that and she received this. So we went in and we started that healing work for her. And lo and behold, to this day, every time she goes to get an MRI, the machine breaks down. So when we heal those past components of the circumstance or the situation, it allows the healing to take place in the body now. And for her, it was just absolutely beautiful to be able to watch and witness her shift and change. Her life was more full. Her vibrancy was huge. Her face was glowing. This is just one component of what we can do. There's things we still don't even know we can do. But this is the opportunity. So what I want to do is I want to bring you guys back after the break, and we're going to go through a small little exercise, and I'm going to help guide you guys. So anytime you want to go in and just take a look around, you totally can. You could explore whatever you want to, but you have to stay tuned and you have to come back. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very shortly. Take care. Hello and welcome back. I'm Sheri Collins. You're joining me on the Soul Matrix Show. So let's go into one more thing, and then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of exercise to do with me. So I just want to talk about why I got into teaching the Akashic Records to other people. So as I told you guys, I'm a really fast learner. And for me, I'm always looking for something to do or to be guided with my guides to show me what I can help with. So teaching this just became a really natural step for me. And actually, it was something I took as a test when I was in grade school. It said I was going to be a teacher. I just didn't know what. And when this showed up and I was like, oh my gosh, kid in the candy store, and I know how to do this, let's just do it. So I actually started very soon after I learned how to do it. After I learned how to heal, I actually learned the process to transform. And then I started teaching this right away. And for me, it was just to open up everybody else to help them to understand that they can do this work. And I mean, literally everybody can do this work. You can block yourself and hold yourself back. And that's why I'm there to guide you, to help you to unblock it and to see it, sense it, know it, feel it. So what I want to do right now with you is I want to walk you through this exercise. So just close your eyes and keep your feet flat on the floor. It just helps keep you a little bit grounded because sometimes we can get a little bit wobbly as we're in there. So just close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to go in through our nose to the pit of our stomach. And just hold that and then release. And then you're going to do that again. Just a deep breath in through your nose, down to the pit of your stomach. And then release, nice and slow. All right. So just sit there with your eyes closed. And what I want you to do is I want you to just imagine the chair that you're sitting in or the couch that you're sitting is a big lazy boy. And that thing is just solid brown leather and it's wrapping you in a hug in that chair. And if you need to turn on the coziness, you can, the little heat setting. Just turn that on and just amplify that up for you. There you go. Just relaxing further and further. And what I want you to do is I want you just to imagine yourself in a library. Just ask to be taken to your Akashic library. Okay, just ask to be taken there. Okay, and I want you to imagine lots and lots of bookcases lined everywhere. This thing is massive. So if you think there's only 2 books, ask to be shown the actual library because it's massive. You've been here many, many times and you've got many stories, right? There's volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what I want you to do is in your imagination, I want you to get out of your chair. And I want you to go and I want you to navigate to one shelf and I want you to pick off a book that resonates with you. Don't worry about what it says on the spine. I just want you to be guided by your intuition. Go pick the book that resonates with you. Perfect. Just grab that book off the shelf and hold it and feel it as you walk back to your chair. There you go. Now sit back down. And we're just going to go through a little bit of an exercise. So I'm going to give you a question and then we're going to open that book. Okay. So the question is, what do I need to know for my highest and best good today? Okay. That's our question. What do I need to know for my highest and best good today? And what I want you to do is I just want you to open that book in your hands and I want you to look down. And if you see words, what's that word? If you sense words, what's that word? If you don't see or sense anything, that's okay. Go into a feeling. Does it feel like joy? Does it feel like gratitude? If you're an auditory, what's the word that's coming in? If you're telepathic, what's the word that's showing up in your head? And if you still don't get anything, that's okay. Go with something that happened in your day. What is it that needs to show up for you, for your highest and best today? The first thing that comes to you, that's your intuition telling you. Okay, now I want you to close the book. And I want you to think about that word that you were just shown or told or sensed or feel. What does that mean to you? To know that word, that that's what you need for your day, for your highest and best good. Okay, now we're going to do this again, but we're going to ask a different question. Okay, I want you to ask, what's one action step you need to take in your day? And I want you to open that book again. See, sense, know, feel the answer. What's coming in? What do you need to know? What's your action step? Do you need to go talk to somebody? Do you need to call somebody? Text somebody? Do you need, I need to actually go to a physical place? Do you need to apply for that job? What's showing up for you? And then I want you to close the book. And I want you to ask yourself, how do I feel in this moment knowing those two things? Do I feel good? Does it feel right? Maybe it feels a little bit scary, and that's okay. Just know that that can't hurt you, right? Nothing about that can hurt you, right? Okay. So in your mind's eye, I want you to get up and I want you to go put that book back on the shelf. And then this time, I want you to walk over to a different bookshelf and pick off a book from that shelf. And don't worry about what it says on the spine. Right now, that's irrelevant. And I want you to go sit back down in your chair. And I want you to ask this: what's one relationship that I need to mend today? And I want you to open that book. And whether you see the person, whether you see the name, whether you get the idea that it's yourself, whatever it is that shows up, how does that feel to you? And I want you to close that book. And I want you to ask this question: do I need to fully forgive them and let it go? Now, the only answer that's going to show up is a yes or a no. Okay. So I want you to open that book and get your answer that you need. Yes or no. When you have your answer, close the book, return it to the shelf, and ask yourself, can I do that right now? Can I truly just forgive that person right now? It's not as hard as it seems. There you go. And I want you to go back over and sit in your chair. Okay. And what I want you to do is I just want you to open your eyes. So you're back in your body, you're back in your space, you're back in your room. And I want you to take note of how you feel. You might still feel like you're shifting, but you might feel like you just got all the answers you need for right now. How does that feel to know those answers? So this is just one technique that we can use inside the Akashic Records. When I teach this to people, it's a little bit more expansive, but this is just one avenue for you to understand that you have access to all of this information about you, whether you look at it as a book or a movie. Now, as we navigate through the Akashic Records, because I've been doing this for quite a while, it is part of my daily life, on top of being a psychic medium. For me, I see a lot of stuff that shows up. And for me, it shows up on screens. So for some people that I come in contact with, I'll see 150 screens, I'll see 1,000 screens. And in each one of those, I can pick what I need to heal in each of the lifetimes for that person. Now, that takes a lot of skill and that takes a lot of practice. So if you're willing to put in the work, you're most definitely going to be able to do whatever you choose. Now, there is a few things about the Akashic Records that people know from learning with me, but I'm sure they'll learn on their own as well. And that there is certain things that can't be done in the Akashic. And one of them is healing the collective. And I want to share this story with you because this is the prime example of how they will stop you. Not that it's bad that they stop you, but they will ask you to no, not do that. And then they will remove you and then you'll have to just go back in. So my girlfriend is actually Athena. And in a past life, she was having a discussion with Medusa. And Medusa is actually her husband. And she has the markings that show up on her hand to show that that is her and her husband. So she didn't know this process at the time. So I went in for her and I started navigating into her Akashic and saw a whole bunch of things. I saw the front of the one building there with the columns and the beautiful doorway and stuff. And I saw her and Athena, Medusa and Athena. And all of a sudden I went to transform something and I was very new to this. And all of a sudden Poseidon stepped in front of me and he's like, no. And I was like a little awestruck because I'm like, dude, you're really good looking. He's like, no. He goes, you can't heal this. And I'm like, but why? He goes, because you will change history. So there is certain things that we can't, but what I could do was help my girlfriend to understand why her hands are her exit point. We did a lot of healing around her exit points. And now that she understands why, it's not as bad what comes out, right? So we understand the parts of our life that need to be healed in those moments. We just can't change history. She can go and change those components for herself, though, because it is her. Just like I can go in and do the healing work on myself as Cleopatra, or I can go to Atlantis and do healing work on myself as Rhea. I can't go in and change. My son was Hercules, so I cannot go in and change for him. He needs to do that for himself. So here is why it's so important that we start this healing journey, because I'm sure we're all tired of coming back with this karmic energy. I don't know about you guys. I'll stay here forever, but I'm good without the karmic energy. I love the fact that I can heal all my money issues and step forward and manifest so quickly. I love that I can heal my family lines and be done. I love that I can go in and heal my family lines where my mom was adopted and have that just in full abundance for my family with just unbelievable love. So I want you to know that you can do this work too. You most definitely can do this work. It is not hard. It is very, very easy. But the thing is, you have to want to do it. You have to want to take that first step. If I was never brought into awareness of this, I don't know where I would be, but I am just so grateful that I got aligned to it, because what I was taught and what I teach are there's similar components, but there was no healing, there was no transformation. So as we align through that, the impact that it makes on our lives and other people's is just huge. And I just would ask you, like, how do you want to show up and be of service for yourself? Because first and foremost, this is about healing you. Now, when we come back, I want to touch base on a few other things that people have asked me over the whiles of teaching and doing this work. And I think they're really important to understand. It is taught by other people in different ways. Some of the galactic beings have come forward to say certain things. So I would love to address a little bit of that, because a lot of people do recognize a galactics and, other dimensional beings. So I would love to reference that when you guys come back, but feel free to hold off, have a break, go get some water and a cup of tea. And please join me back here for a little bit more of this chat. I look forward to seeing you very soon. See you later. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me back again on the Soul Matrix Show. So I want to dive into this just before we keep going into something even more expansive. I want to share a story with you because this is life-changing. I was working on a gentleman who is part of a fire department in the United States, and he was supposed to go in and get some jaw surgery done, $50,000 or so, I think they charged him. And I said, no. I said, no, we're going to find a solution to that. So I went into his Akashic, went into his past life, and he was in a war zone. He was laying on the ground, wounded, and his friend was standing over top of him. I didn't know who the guy was, but I will go in and heal the person, not somebody else. So we always heal the person we're working on. And so, I did the healing work on him just so he could feel more at ease. War is not easy. There's a lot of bombs going off and stuff like that. So what I noticed that when I calmed him down, the guy that was standing over top of him had a hole in his neck going this way, right? Clipped his artery here, right through here. So I went in and I'm like, okay, can I heal this guy? Like, he's bleeding all over. They're like, yeah, go ahead. So I did. I went in, I healed it, and I came out. And I said to the gentleman's wife, I'm like, oh my gosh, here's what I saw. Here's what I did. She goes, the guy you just described is my husband's best friend. And I went, what? She goes, he hasn't been able to go to the gym and work out because he's got a pain in his neck. I said, okay. She calls him and says, go to the gym. He's like, I can't. She's like, go to the gym. Well, he went to the gym and there was nothing wrong. Right? That's what we can do. The other part of his jaw stuff was related to 9/11. So I actually went into his firehouse. I don't live in New York. I live in Canada. And I went into his fire hall. I described his fire hall. I described the people in his fire hall. And he goes, yep. I said, every time that alarm dings to go on a call, that's you remembering your past life. His jaw would go, and it would create the distress in the jaw. So we healed that. No jaw surgery. It's so amazing what we can do. We just don't realize we can do it. So I want to talk to you guys about how you can learn to do this. And there's so many avenues. I teach this as a group. I teach it privately, but right now I actually have a 12 days of Christmas deal on, and I just wanted to share it with you if anybody's interested. It's in my academy. So pureradiantsoulacademy.com has it on for an enormous deal right now, and you will get the whole process. If you sign up before the deadline, I think it closes on the 17th. If you sign up before then to take the class in the academy, which is videos there, you can watch it as many times as you want. You can self-teach yourself. All the videos are there. I'm giving a discount to anybody who purchases that to come into level 3 when it is launched next year. So now is your opportunity. If you're ready to step in and do this work, feel free. It is there for you to take. There's tons and tons of videos. There's going to be class videos put in there from the 2 classes that I just finished teaching. So this opportunity for you to step up and step in to start doing this work for yourself is now. Do not wait. Don't wait. If you wait, it's like waiting till breakfast and then waiting for this, and eventually that will sort itself out, and eventually that will heal itself. The way that I look at this opportunity is you get to heal yourself, and then you get to help others when you're ready. You know, being able to see so many lives changed from this work on my side has been an enormous blessing. Now, you can do it on animals as well. Animals, just because they're animals in this lifetime doesn't mean they were always animals, right? We will reincarnate into anything that we agree to with source, the energy of source. So you could have been a lion in a past life. You could be, your pets could be your children from a past life. So the opportunity to be able to heal our pets in there is enormous. And I cannot stress enough, it doesn't take a long time. Once you learn the process, it's fast. It's so fast. And nothing that I teach has to take forever. And I think the faster we move through some of this stuff to be able to heal it, transform it, and move it out, the faster we go on living a better life for ourselves. I personally have zero money issues. They're all healed. They're all taken care of, and allows me to step forward and live the life I truly want. I am so in alignment with abundance and prosperity and wealth and just everything in alignment. That's all from doing my work in the Akashic, because when I decided to leave my ex and move out on my own, I didn't have any money. I wondered where my next paycheck was going to come from, right? The universe will always line it up for you, but do you want more than enough? Do you want to be able to say, I healed that relationship over there and I know it's good and it'll transform? Because anything that you transform in the Akashic Records between you and somebody else will move down into this lifetime. So if you have an issue with them in this lifetime, it will start to heal it, right? With almost zero effort. This is not supposed to be a lot of effort, right? You saw how easy it was to go and sit in that chair. You saw how easy it was to be able to look at those books. You can start there if you want to. When are you ready to make that big commitment for yourself and start working on just you? Right. And this can equal into a business for yourself as well. Will you get paid to work on other people and help them as well? Absolutely. So I just want to share with you like my social medias where you can get in touch with me, where you can have that conversation with me one-on-one if you need it. Okay. So here's how you can reach me. So pureradiantsoulacademy.com. That is the school site where you can reach me. You can follow me on Facebook, Pure Radiant Soul. Okay. You can also reach out to me via email, SheriCollins1@hotmail.com. That's just a plain email directly to me. So if you have any questions, feel free. I will answer those questions for you. You can also reach me at Instagram. So Sheri_Collins_. That's how you can get in touch with me. Well, feel free to follow me everywhere if you'd like to. I am also on TikTok, SheriCollins1. I do lives for Akashic healing transformations. I also do readings and lives on both my platforms as well. So feel free to come by and check it out. If you're just starting this journey and you want to see what else is out there for you, come by, join me for a live, come experience a healing and a transformation for yourself. Eventually, once I get moving through some of my episodes, I'm going to bring callers on and we'll start doing this work so you can see it live and in present. And then you can start to catch their testimonials, because the testimonials that come in from this are life-changing for the people, right? It's just about moving through it. It's about us navigating that journey for ourselves, just like I did for myself. I cannot stress enough how much I have manifested in my life. 2 years ago, I asked to see a house in my Akashic Records that I was going to move with my children to, and that house is currently on the market. The only thing that's changed in my life is that we would like horses. If not, I would be buying that house. It was the exact house I saw in my Akashic Records. I've had students manifest everything they want. I had one girl in the middle of our class call ask me where she was going to live in 3 months. We walked through every single component right up to the front door. The name of the street, the number on the door. We Googled it on Zillow. I think that's what it's called in the US. The house was for sale. It was for sale in that moment. So everything that you want to know is in there. Now, let's go into the galactic stuff, because I know that's really important to some people. So in all actuality, your Akashic Records is just your lives you've had on Earth, right? We can go back before the beginning of time. Absolutely. Can we go into galactic lifetimes? We absolutely can. I think it's an extension of the Akashic Records. I wouldn't necessarily say it is the Akashic. When I do my own personal journeys up there to go see the council, to do any work with Ashtar or my guide wisdom, I will go through my Akashic Records so that it's my personal space, right? Can I teleport and levitate? I can go there. I don't have to leave my house. I can just biolocate. But if I'm doing a mission work or any of that kind of stuff, or I want to see something of my past in there, I will just go through my Akashic Records to go see it. For me, it provides me with protection and safety that I need. There's certain beings who I was in a past life where some things I still need to be, watched over in a cloak, just to conceal my identity of who I am in this life, because of who I am also with myself, right? So it's understanding that you can start this journey for yourself, whether it's your life's on Earth or the galactic lifetimes. We can heal everything. There is no rules, there's no limits, but you need to learn the process first. So if you're ready, reach out. Let's do this. I'm ready to teach you. I do have a class starting next year in February 4th, 5th, and 11th from 12 till 5. So if you would like to come into that class, you need to reach out to me, SheriCollins1@hotmail.com. I would love to have you. It's going to be a big class. It's going to be so much fun, so much healing, and you're going to do it. And I'm going to walk you through it. I'm grateful to have you guys here with me. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love you guys so, so much. Take care, and I'll see you guys back here next week. I love you. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Soul Matrix Show, unleashing the power of your infinite soul with Sheri Collins. Tune in live every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com. Sheri can help you remember who you once were. Tune in to see the bigger picture, release your past traumas, and step forward into your true self and living a life that you love. This show helps you with all of this by being of service to you, sharing messages of hope, faith, and understanding. To learn more about Sheri and her services, visit Sheri-Collins.com. That's Sheri-Collins.com.